In Season 4, we went to a bowling tournament with the clients for Community Services for Sight. We learned how several sports are adapted for those that are visually impaired or blind. Just a few months after that, many of the same kids were on the court playing a sport made just for them called goal ball.
So goal ball is a blind sport that it's kind of hard to describe at first, especially for someone who's never seen it. Some of you are, right now, you're either on left wing, center wing, or right wing. And as you can either feel with your hands or your feet, there's a piece of string with a piece of tape over it, so that helps you know where you are. Okay, so what's gonna happen now is we're gonna practice blocking the ball. But I kind of describe it as a mixture of like soccer, dodgeball, bowling type deal. And it's your job to listen for where the ball is and to figure out where you need to dive on which side to block the ball. But I mean, this is how you spread it. It's little things like this to get the kids, especially at a younger age. Somebody like Ella, who's only like 11, if she can start getting into it now, by the time she's older, she could be trying out for the women's Paralympic team if it's something she really is passionate about. The goal ball itself, if you can hear it, this one's a little low, but there's bells inside the ball, and it's a pretty hard ball, as you can tell. It's hollow, and then it has the bells inside, so the players know. Obviously, it's all about a game of listening, since everyone is wearing eye shades, and the crowd is completely silent during play, so players aren't affected. And then there's all types of rules that go along with the game to make it what it is.
The bells started ringing for goal ball in 1946 when an Austrian named Hans Lorenzen and a German named Seth Rendell invented the game to help World War II veterans who lost their eyesight. The sport made its Paralympic debut in 1976. Rachel Lovell is an adaptive physical education teacher at St. Lucie Day School for children with visual impairments in Philadelphia. She got involved with goal ball around 4 years ago.
On a national sports team, like at the adult level, you are allowed to have one person who is sighted, but then your other players all have to have some sort of visual impairment. At the youth level, I've seen kids from 5, 6 years old up to adults who are 60 play the sport. So again, it is for everyone. It is, of course, centered towards people who are visually impaired, since they don't have necessarily the other sport opportunities. So, but again, it's great to spread the awareness to everyone and get anyone who's willing to become more involved and start more teams.
Lovell admits that she's not the best at the sport, but says she's a good coach. She's also a certified referee with the United States Association for Blind Athletes. Lovell might miss the ball a few times while she's actually playing the game, but she never misses a chance to promote the sport. Here she's teaching kids involved with Community Services for Sight in the Hazelton area.
I was so shocked. I know a couple have played a little bit before, but it's so good. A couple of the kids that are athletes, you can tell that they pick it up a little bit quicker. It is a hard sport to learn just because it is so physical, and it's tough because you are blindfolded and you just have to trust your hearing and your sense of your own body awareness. But they did great. I mean, they got so into it. They all keep asking when we can play more, so that's what it's all about.
Goal ball is played with 3 team members on the court at one time. The offense tries to throw the ball into their opponent's goal. The official goal size is over 29 feet long and over 4 feet high. The defense listens for the ball and tries to stop it. There are 2 12-minute halves in a game. This was just an introduction for the kids at Community Services for Sight, so the game wasn't timed, but the players seemed to love every second of it.
Unfortunately, these kids don't have these opportunities every day in their schools because of their visual impairments, so these are the times that they can get out with others who share the same kind of impairment that they do, and they can feel like a sense of belonging, which is so important.
We caught up with a few of Community Services for Sight's goal ball players a few months after this event. During Camp Sight, they were having a blast at Country Heart Farm, but they still had lots of room in their hearts for goal ball.
Were you ever nervous with the ball coming that way, or you're just like, you know what, I'm just going to throw my body out there and stop the ball?
I wasn't nervous at all. I was just going to throw my body out there, and then I was just going to roll it like that, and then throw it like like that.
What did you like about it the most? What was the most fun?
Probably rolling the ball. I
How many
like
goals did you have?
3 or 4.
What was the most challenging part of it?
Definitely blocking it.
How did you adapt to that? I mean, just throwing your body around. Did it take a while to get comfortable with being like, all right, I'm just gonna dive?
I mean, yeah, every time I thought blocking the ball, I thought like I'm gonna dive and hurt my head. I'm gonna hurt my head, I'm gonna bang it on the floor, I'm gonna walk away with a head injury,
But no, it was okay, like you kind of found a safe way to do it?
yeah, except I was kind of like slowly doing it. But then I got used to diving, and I'm like, okay, this is no big deal.
They're serious about the sport and confident.
Do you think you could beat Rachel ever? If you keep practicing, like 4 or 5 years from now, do you think you could beat Rachel?
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Lori Lassant is the CEO and president of Community Services for Sight, and she helped put together this goalball training session.
I have to say I'm so proud of all of them for even trying, because to say, okay, you have a little sight, but now I'm going to make you totally blind with this blindfold, trust me, that's hard to do, because I don't know if I would be open and willing to that, to put it on and just try something I never did before.
And by the way, dive around a little bit. We're gonna roll this ball at you.
Exactly. So, you know, it's a heavy ball. It's a big, heavy ball. So, yeah, they were really good sports about it, and some have asked us to do it again, and so we'll give it another go around with it and see how we do. And maybe if we have enough interest, we can form a team, and who knows, we'll have a traveling goalball team.
During this first practice session, the goal was for everyone to have a ball. They did, and now many of Community Services for Sight's clients want more of the sport that was made just for them.
Most sports aren't usually made for blind and visually impaired people. They're just made for people with sight, and blind and visually impaired people can't really play. So I just think this gives them an opportunity to be part of something.